So today is December 30th. New Year's is right around the corner. The next few episodes will be talking directly about it. Today I'm going to talk about reflections, reflecting on the year past, reflecting on 2025. Tomorrow and the day after, I'm going to talk about actual New Year's resolutions. My opinion on New Year's resolutions has changed a little bit over the last couple years. So to not spoil anything, I'm going to save it for tomorrow. First, we're going to go about reflections. So subscribe if you don't want to miss tomorrow's video, because I think it's going to be a good one. It's a good way you can push forward and continue changing in this world. If you really want to have that growth mindset, that improvement mindset, willingness to change, you got to reflect on time past, what you did wrong. And it's a great thing to reflect on the year past. The things that went well for you, the things that went bad, the amazing memories, amazing moments, amazing experiences, and bad moments. Things that you might still be dealing with that you have to look forward and look towards 2026 to do better in. But this is actually my second time recording this because apparently I didn't click play. I'm having all sorts of problems with my recording, with my camera for some reason since I've gotten this new setup. So all I ask for you is just you bear with me with this. It'll probably take a few more days for me to finally get into the groove of it, figure out what the hell is happening. But I'm going to talk about it. For New Year's, right now, December 30th, focus on reflecting about the end of the year. My call to action, my actionable thing for you for the point of this entire episode is go and do a yearly reflection. Ask yourself these questions. What went well during the year? What went bad during the year? What did you learn? What were the great moments, great memories? Go month by month and pick some good moments from the month and bad moments from the month. Select your best month and your worst month. What went wrong in your worst month that you can try and do better next year. And what went well in your best month that you want to try and repeat next year. What issues are you still dealing with right now that you have to try and do better in next year? What was the narrative of 2025 for you? What would you give it a rating out of 10? For me in my life, I give 2025 like a 7, 8 out of 10, and it was super good for me. It treated me quite well. I went through so many great things in this year for me. But what is it for you? Ask yourself these questions. Who are your favorite friends? Who are your favorite, music artists, podcasts? What did you spend most of your time doing? What were useful things you spent your time doing? What did you spend your time doing that filled you up, that made you feel good, that truly gave you some purpose? And what were the things you spent your time with that you kind of regret? Ask yourself these types of questions, and maybe you can come up with some more questions as to how you can reflect on the year. But what I'd say is it's important to kind of take that time. So take an hour, write it down either in your phone notes or on an actual piece of paper. What your year was like, what 2025 was like for you. I feel like there's this narrative that 2025 kind of sucked as a year just because of all these bad things that happened around the world, which I absolutely understand. You have Diogo Jota's death, Charlie Kirk's death, and again, a whole bunch of other, political nonsense. Of course, all of this stuff, right? But the point is, you should really be looking at, what happened with you, right? How was your faith? Was your faith in God strong? Was there no faith at all? Was it kind of wavering in and out of faith? Was it inconsistent? Do you care about that kind of stuff or not? For me, my end of year reflections, God is number one. How I've grown in faith has also helped me grow in strength and grow as a person. So for me, that's what I put. For you, if that's what you put, great. If it's not, well, you should, find other things to put, right? In terms of how you can, grow as a person. For me, the best way to grow as a person is to grow in your faith in God, because God will help you grow because he's glorious in that way. So that's my own personal recommendation. But just truly go through the year. Find the moments where you grew, where you learned the greatest life lessons, where you faltered. It's a great thing to go back and look at the memories, look at the great moments, look at the things that you truly cherished throughout the year that made the year great for you, and then you look at, and then but you also have to not forget to look at the bad things, because the bad things are probably where the most growth is needed, or already happened, or still needs to happen next year or the years after, which, as a part of the reflection, you're going to plan what you're doing. So let me give you the quick structure of it, and then I'm going to end this episode real quick, because again, this is my second recording. I'm repeating the same things over and over again. You don't know, you don't care. So I'm going to kind of give you a structure as to how you can write your end of year review. It's important for those reasons. It's always good to reflect, to try and find ways you can improve and change and get better in this world, in this life. And then for tomorrow, we're going to talk about 2026, how you can actually put good plans in place for 2026 that you can actually do more than just for the first month of the year. Like how so many New Year's resolutions just typically and stereotypically fail because people don't do them right. And that's what I'm going to go through tomorrow. So I don't want to spoil too much about that. But again, subscribe if you want to see it. Turn on the notifications if you want to see it, because I think it'll be a very good episode, just as this one is. So for your reflection, there's many if you want, you can get like a template. I'm sure there's so many reflection, your end of year review templates out there. But if you don't want a template, you just want to write stuff down, I'll just tell you right now as to kind of what you want to be looking at. So first, go month by month. Go through moments of each month, some good, some bad. Then, I don't know, maybe put a star or a check mark or something next to your best month after you've done the reflection, and then put one next to your worst month. For me personally, I'll just say it and I'll reveal it so that, you have a little bit of peace of mind as to know, and you know what to do. For me, my best month was August, by far, because I was in Spain. I went on the pro trial. I had some amazing conversations with people, met some of the best people I've ever met in my life, went through some good moments, had some fun time in Madrid, and talked to truly some absolutely amazing people, and it was definitely the best moment of my entire life, let alone just the year. And my worst month was in February, because in February was when I was on the field playing soccer, playing the worst I've ever played, making the worst mistakes I've ever made in my life, feeling like everything was hopeless, just kind of crying because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, if I was being benched in my team, which is in the worst team, and I was spiraling off, kind of, lack of confidence, low self-esteem, high fear, all that kind of stuff. But obviously that month was important for me to grow and do better in the next months, which of course I ended up doing, so I still cherish it. But obviously if I had to objectively pick one month which is the best and one month which is the worst, that's what I'd say. For you should do the same. Go month by month, pick the best, pick the worst, write down some of the best moments of each month. Then ask yourself a couple important questions. What were the best moments of 2025? How would you rate 2025 on a scale of 1 to 10? What were the worst moments of 2025? What are things that you still dealing with right now that you need to make improvements on for next year? What were the best ways you spent your time in 2025? What were the ways that fulfilled you and filled you up the most in 2025? What were the ways you spent the time that you regret the most in 2025? Who were your best friends? Who were the people that had the biggest impact on you in the year? What were the podcasts, music, other arts, or other things you enjoy? Which ones of those had the best impact on you over the year? Who's the greatest person you ever met? What was the best city you ever visited in the year? What was the moment where you experienced the most growth? What were some of the lessons you learned? And what are some concrete plans going forward for next year? I think those are a good few questions to start with. You can probably find more, and you're absolutely free to come up with more and different ones and maybe even better ones. But I think those ones, it's a good combination of reminiscing on the good moments and also looking at the bad moments and looking at things that you can improve on even right now. I think it's a good combination of questions, good combination of things to just think about and reflect on. So for your end of year review, Write it down. Write those questions down and answer them. Take an hour of your day, right? It's not going to take that long. You just take an hour of your day and you look at the things that you did well, that you did bad, great memories, bad setbacks, and things you can continue to improve on right now, and things that you can appreciate and cherish and be thankful for. And me personally, I'd also ask the question of how is your faith? How did you grow your faith in God? But that's just me, because I'm a Christian. If you're also that also should be an important question for you to ask. If not, you don't need to include it, but I would recommend including it as well. So that's a good starting point, I think, as to what questions you want to ask and answer as a result of what happened during the year for you in your life. So tomorrow, I'm going to go over how you can make a real New Year's resolution, not the kind of bad ones that end, they're just a dopamine hit and they end in a couple weeks because you're not actually dedicated. How you can actually make a plan for the year where you're actually going to stick to it. That's what tomorrow is going to be all about, and that is what the day after is going to be all about as well. But for now, focus solely on reflection, focus solely on looking at the year past, and then tomorrow, in the next episode, we will talk about kind of looking towards the future. So thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for being here. Again, forgive me if I have kind of not portrayed things the way I would have liked to because of the fact that this is my second recording because everything messed up. It's all good. Stay positive through it all. But my message to you, call to action, go out there and write that end of year reflection and truly reflect on your time. And if it was a good year for you, amazing. If it was a bad year for you, what can you do to make 2026 better? That is kind of the essence of this episode, the essence of this video, and the whole point I'm trying to make here. It's a good thing to just sit there and reflect for a bit, and if you're trying to grow, be a better person, the best thing you can do is look at the things that you've experienced and find ways to do better. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here this far. Continue to glorify God in absolutely all that you do, and I'll see you tomorrow.